Good evening. How are you? And tonight we're going to have a little Facebook Live conversation and talking about tips for women who are interested in exploring dominance and topping in BDSM. And I also thought I'd talk about tips for those who'd like to bottom, because there's amazing bottoming skill for people as well. And I have my tea. It's a cold night, so I have a turtleneck on, and I am all ready. I also have a bunch of questions or shares that I posted to my ForteFemme alumni group. And ForteFemme is my Women's Dominance Weekend Intensive, and we have an alumni society. And I asked them about what I should talk about. I also put out some questions, put out a call for questions as well in other places. So I thought I'd start with that. But in the meantime, I'll start off with what's on here. And I would totally love to take your questions. Of course, I will also be offering my tips on this as well. So, BDSM. Okay, some of you already know my definition for that, and it is not the explanation of the acronym, but rather it is childhood joyous play with adult sexual privilege and cool toys. It's cops and robbers with fucking, as I like to say. And yeah. So, if you're just looking to explore topping, and if you're new to this, especially, I don't know, in this day and age with so much information, you would think it would be easy to, but it's actually quite intimidating. And so I thought I'd share some common sense tips. All right. So, first of all, you're not going to be perfect. Don't worry about being perfect. And number one tip is blindfold is your best friend. The number two tip is you gotta communicate. All right, so in the meantime, I'll get to some of this stuff later, but I want to first get to some of the things that my ForteFemme Graduate Society members have asked. Let's see. One of them said that, quote, I think it'd be great if you talked about not being ashamed of being a woman in her own power, to feel comfortable taking up space, and God forbid, being a bit selfish. And she goes on, and that doesn't mean that you aren't attentive to your partners, and it doesn't mean you're being cruel in a non-sexy way, but especially when it's not egalitarian, you're more than entitled to that space. One of the big takeaways for me from ForteFemme was the question of, what do I desire right now? What are my hard limits right now? And answering the negotiation questions for myself. We're not dominance dispensers, unquote. So let me address that. There's this idea that in terms of exploring dominance, that the person providing the leadership in play, that somehow they are entirely beholden to and center everything what they do around the receiving person, the person bottoming, and their desires. It's not. It's a shared activity. It's a team sport. So if you're topping or you're thinking about topping and you feel like this is all about your partner's needs and the list of, maybe your partner has like a list of 5,000 things that they want to do. Okay, let's be realistic, maybe 25 things that they want to do. Oh, I want to do a little blindfold, a little bondage, a little spanking, a little nipple clamps. I want to do a little bit of role play, and I want to do a this and a that and a this and a that. And you're the sweetie, and you're like, okay, these are all the things I'm supposed to do. And I need to do all of them tonight. How realistic is that? Really? It's not realistic at all. So here's the thing. The first question you have to ask is not to your partner. The first question you need to ask is of yourself. Of yourself. What would please me now? Then from there. And now what would please me now? That may not be a specific thing, a tool. It might not even be a clear idea. It might just be something vague like, I just want to feel adored. There you go, that's a good one. Maybe it's just something as simple as, I just want to feel adored. Or I want to have a good time and not think about work. That's a good one. It could also be as simple as, I want to just be in charge just a little bit. I just want to be a little bit selfish. Or maybe it's something specific like, I want my sweetie to go down on me. That's specific, and you know that can be BDSM too. Yes, it can. Okay. So, excuse me, I have a tea leaf stuck in my mouth. Funny. I'm having a lovely oolong this evening. So, check in with yourself as to what is it that you want right now, and then go from there. All right? And please don't feel like you need to be a dispenser for your partner's desire. It is a paired activity. And speaking of partners, this is a tip for the partner. I know you have dozens of things you want to do, but don't thrust them all upon your sweetie all at once. It's intimidating, and you know what's going to end up happening is that she's going to end up feeling intimidated, or she will feel like she couldn't possibly deliver everything well, and the concern of being good at this is going to freeze her from actually taking flight and soaring in the pleasure of it. So, if you're the partner, don't launch into the million things you want to do, but maybe just the top 3. And if you get one of those top 3, you know what? Great. And play well together. You know what play well together means? That means clearly communicating what it is you're liking, what it's not quite as what you thought it might be, encouraging your partner all along, because remember, if she's just starting off with this, she's going to be a ball of nervousness. And expectations that you may have of her to be perfect from the get-go. I mean, come on, think about it. How were you with riding a bicycle or driving a car the first time? Probably not that good. Okay? And if you were being told to, get on that bicycle you've never been on and now ride the Tour de France, I mean, how reasonable is that? It's not. And if a woman gets caught up in feeling disappointed in her own performance, hey, guess what? She's not going to top you again. Or she's going to feel like it's a chore and she's going to resent it. And how's that going to work out? Not well. Yeah. Hey, Angus, how's it going? Yeah, so let's not try the Tour de France the first time out, shall we? So let her have an opportunity to enjoy herself, even if it is that it's not how you thought it might work out. Thank her for it. Thank her for trying things. Appreciate how hard it might be to try something new and step out into a new adventure. Your encouragement of your sweetie is an investment in your future play. Also, whether you are the person exploring how to be a top or the person looking to bottom, don't expect that your two of your fantasies, or maybe there are more of you, let's assume for a binary model, don't assume that your fantasies and desires are going to match up immediately. No, they're not. It's going to take a while to, a conversation back and forth, like a little tennis match, and figuring out where we're going to play tonight. And the other day, I did a Facebook Live with Marcia where we talked about the concept of snacking. That means keep it short and fun. Don't plan for the high production value Broadway show kind of scene. No, just do one thing. Let's see. What do you do as a newish top when your sadistic side actually scares you away from play? Okay, so here's an advice. If you are have a erotic sadistic streak, let's call that an interest in creating intense sensations, shall we? And let's say that hunger is large enough and gnawing at you enough that you're a little worried that you might cause your sweetie harm. Practical advice. Get a soft toy that you can swing to your heart's content and not cause damage. Because part of the exhilaration with engaging in one's erotic sadism is the physical exhilaration of it, the physical action of it, and the idea that you are doing something intense. However, if you mediate and moderate that with an intermediate tool, intermediate object, the thing, a flogger, or say a thing that flogger, a paddle, something. Let's see. And let's say a flogger, and if it's really, really soft, yes, like Sylvester Friedman said, bunny fur floggers, or velvet, or really soft suede, you can whack to your heart's delight. Boom, 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 boom. And it's just going to feel fun. Seriously. So, try that. Randy, what do you think? Lorna, indeed, a rubber chicken flogger. But you know, rubber chickens actually hurt. And if anyone's wondering about rubber chicken floggers, yes, I have a rubber chicken flogger. Nerf bats. Nerf bats are fun too. Yeah. Also, if you want something simple, you can just take a scarf. Hi, Peggy. How are you? So, Randy, seriously, find some tools that end up being the insulator or buffer between your desire and the other person's flesh. Let's see, I have another question. Oh, hey, PK, how are you? Let's see, I have a question from one of my readers, okay? And he says, I would like to know, how does a confident man who is older and wise approach a dominant woman he has interest in without appearing non-submissive but being himself, even though that is his true nature, like at a munch or a fetish event? Should his attire in some way let her know? Will she know by his mannerism? I hope that I phrased the question properly. Midori, ma'am, will there be a link for the Facebook live chat? Well, I hope you're hearing this, and I will post a link to this. All right, so here's a tip for if you are somebody approaching a woman that might enjoy topping you. How to approach. Should you wear something that indicates it? How should you behave? Okay? So here's my tip on this. Above all and always, behave as the common etiquette of the land for a well-mannered person. Now that's going to vary. Well-mannered approach, and I don't mean kinky. I mean well-mannered in a general way. So if you go up to a stranger and suddenly fall to your knees and kiss their boots, is that good manners in the general society that we are in? No. It is uninvited, unconsensual, and it's creepy. Don't do that. Okay? So instead, let's say we're in North America, and you see somebody at an event, maybe Dark Odyssey, maybe whatever, and you would go up. You don't need to wear anything special. Have clean, nice clothes on that presents you well. And then say, hello, my name is so-and-so, and may I have a conversation with you? You seem very interesting. Approach a person as you would do with the best manners of the best common manners of the land. And then you go from there. I see this at kinky things where people will put on some kinky piece of jewelry. Maybe they have a collar on. Okay, I've seen this happen. They have a collar on and they're standing around and wondering why nobody takes them and puts them into submission. Because the quality people that engage in dominance assume that you might have that collar on as a symbol of belonging to somebody else, and they're certainly not going to be violating that because they're polite, right? Yes, and whether you are engaging in dominance or submission, manners, etiquette, and politeness matter. And if you violate that from the get-go, that means that, well, you're just kind of a jerk all around. All right? Start off with basic good manners. So you're wearing something that indicates what you think indicates your status. Well, it might not be interpreted that way to somebody else. You're wearing a dog collar. Well, to one person, it might mean you belong to somebody. To another person, it's a fashion accessory. So, yeah. How's that work for you? So let's see. Here's another question. Tips to suggest for getting started. All right. Oh, Red Angus says, I'd love to hear a little bit about how to be a good bottom. It's really so simple. Is it really so simple as listening? Well, Angus, it starts with listening. It starts with good mannered communication. It starts, let's see, it starts with asking how a person wants to be called. Don't assume how a person wants to be called, and find out. How would you like to be addressed? It's as simple as that. They will tell you. If you assume, oh no, this happened to me, where somebody kept calling me mistress, mistress, and I'm like, please don't call me mistress, that's not my name. Oh, but it's a term of address, I should call you mistress. No, now you are making assumptions and thrusting it upon me because apparently my desires don't mean anything. So that conversation ended quickly. So good bottoming skills, as Angus asked, starts with listening, starts with not assuming, and also starts with not cherry picking what you're listening for. Here's another really good bottoming tip. Find out what kind of aftercare the person who's going to be topping you wishes to have. Yes, aftercare for topping. People who are topping and dominating and engaging in dominance also need aftercare. If they have been involved wholeheartedly into the scene and pouring themselves in with all their desire and their energy, you know what? Afterwards, they're going to be tired, or they're going to need to find some way of achieving equilibrium. And aftercare is this. It's really about how to achieve equilibrium. And what a person needs for achieving equilibrium, that will vary. But I tell you, not enough people bottoming ask those who are topping them what they might need afterwards, and ask that before play. There's something called the recency effect. In other words, the thing that happened most recently is going to color your whole impression and interpretation of the experience. And a really well-matched aftercare, or a you might even have difference of what you want each of you for aftercare, but if a really well-provided aftercare will make the memory of a meh or okay scene seem amazing. So aftercare. And if you're topping, I would also ask the same question of the other person before you start playing. So this is like having a good soft landing for both of you after you come out of a good experience. After a good scene, or even a meh scene, you know what? If you don't have appropriate aftercare for each individual, it's not going to be fun. It'll feel, ugh. If a scene is heavy or something goes sideways, the top might need affirmation, support, etc. Peggy's got a good point there. You know, unexpected things come up in the middle of play. And somebody who's good at dominance is, I'm gonna bet, also a good human being. And good human beings tend to give a shit about how they did and have some worries about, oh, did I harm the person? Yeah. So now, if you're going to ask for aftercare, also let your other person know what you need for aftercare. Hey, Angus, good. I'm glad that helps. Because the other person might not know, because the other person might not be in this conversation right now with me to know that they should ask for aftercare. So find out. See, the thing is, let's say if I like to have my own aftercare in solitude, quiet, and just sit alone, and you like to be held and petted and go into a couple of orgasms, well, if we talk about that in advance, we might be able to work it out. Okay. Lorna, I see your question again. Can I speak about implied or explicit consent and good ways to negotiate before play? All right, so this conversation is for folks who are just looking and starting to play. All right? So if you're just looking for play, looking to start to play, you're just starting to play, I want you to really, really have a good time and maximize your hotness. So I'm going to advise that play with few things that you know for sure. I think if you're just starting off with kink play, engaging in implied consent, maybe treading into the area of after play, that things might not feel quite right, or you didn't feel like, oh, well, maybe that wasn't what I really agreed on. So if you're just starting off, let's keep it simple, and let's play specifically with that which you agreed to play with. But you know, we're not even talking about negotiation yet. Lorna, you're jumping ahead of me. So Lorna, I'm going to back it up a bit, and let's talk a little about some of the basic things that maybe you should talk about before play. There's a standard format right now around kink play and kink negotiation that goes something like this. Me top, you bottom. What do you like? What do you don't like? What are your safe words? What are your hard limits? What are your health limitations? Okay, let's go. That's one method. The other method is the 18-page checklist. I've seen tax forms sexier than that. All right. So the first model, it's better than nothing, but you know what? It's one-sided. It also tends to focus on the physical activity of things. And that's not the point of play. So, first thing is, hey, want to play with me? Yeah, it's just like when we were kids, yeah? Hey, want to play with me? Want to do some kinky sex stuff? Okay, let's say that's a go. All right, good. All right, so next question is, okay, so you want to do some kinky things. What did you have in mind? I have a few ideas, but tell me some of yours. What's kink to you? What do we want to do tonight? But keep it simple. I can only hold 3 thoughts in my head. Got that? Okay. And then I might list 3 of mine. Right. Good. Then, let's say neither of us have done this ever before. Then you ask this question. How do you think that, let's say spanking. I just need to pick something. How do you think that thing that you just listed, like spanking, how do you think it's going to make you feel? Then you'd answer it, and then I would say, well, if I were spanking you, that thing that you just mentioned, this is how it would make me feel. Would that be hot for you? Okay. Then I would ask this question. What do you look like and sound like when it's good for you, when we're doing this thing? Or let's say you don't have the experience. What do you think you'll look like, sound like when it's good for you? And you might want to draw a parallel to your hot, rough sex. Then I need to tell you about what I'm going to look like and sound like when it's good for me. And what I'm going to look like, sound like when it's not good for me. And I want to know what you look like, sound like when it's not good. Got that? Next question. How are you going to let me know in the middle of play if you want more of something? Now me, I tend not to be verbal. So I like hand signals. Now I'm a scuba diver, so I also like this and that. That's A-okay, I want some more. That's iffy. This might be more. This might be bad. Okay? How are you going to let me know when you want more of something? How are you going to let me know when you want less of something? And this is what I am going to do to let you know when I want more of something and less of something. Most of us have heard of safe word. And safe word is that word to really mean stop now. The problem is if we rely on safe word, by the time we get to safe word, our experience is already kind of shot. And by the time we get to a safe word, you can't really rescue the scene now, can you? I would like to know if I'm doing something good and you want more of it, let me know. I can't read minds. And if I need to like ease up or whatever, how are you going to let me know? I might, if you're a nonverbal person, might not want to say words, but you might be able to give me a signal, yeah? So when you want more of something, less of something. Okay? Then we ask, so for aftercare, after we play, how would you like to be taken care of? And aftercare for me, this is what I need to be taken care of. Yes, actually, if I'm engaging in dominance, I do need to get taken care of afterwards. And hey, hopefully we're both happily exhausted. So, and finally, really important question is how do we want to feel? How do we want to feel? And what kind of mood do we want to go to in play? And what do I mean by mood? Actually, let's see. Let's say I'm playing with you, and the mood might be, let's see, I want to feel exuberant. I want to have a good cry. I want to feel like an evil genius. I want to feel like James Bond strapped to a evil genius device. They always happen, don't they? I want to feel selfish. I want to feel silly. I want to feel like a queen bee. I want to feel like an ice queen. I want to feel like a minion. I want to feel like a thing. I want to feel treasured. These are the kinds of things I mean by feel, right? So actually the most important question in all the negotiation is not necessarily the list of activities. It's actually not. It's how do we want to feel? How do we want to feel in this scene? Not how do you want to feel, that deletes me from the conversation. Not how do I want to feel, that deletes you from the conversation. How do we want to feel? So think about that. All right, so I like movies. I don't know, do you guys like movies? If you like movies, send me a little tap or something there. I like movies. And I pick movies, well, I suppose it's award season, so lately it might be a little bit different, but I pick movies based on the mood I want to be in, right? So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming up because, woo! When I want to see Guardians of the Galaxy, I want to see a completely silly, out out of this world, unrealistic childhood adventure. Yeah, okay? So that's a very different mood than the mood I wanted to be in when I saw Hidden Figures, which is a great movie, by the way. And in that, I wanted thoughtful and yet optimistic. I wanted something that justified the sense of struggle against injustice in the world. A little bit of self-righteousness in there too. So those were the things I wanted to feel. Maybe you want to go see a romantic comedy and laugh and snicker and feel okay about your love life. Peggy, Guardian of the Galaxy, I tell ya. Oh, and the raccoon. Raccoon is my hero. Yeah. I know everybody loves Groot. I love Groot too, but the raccoon. I love me the raccoon. If you want to go have, if you go to a tragedy, something that, have your heart crying, you're expecting to like cry your eyeballs out and you don't cry, aren't you disappointed? If you go to a horror flick and you didn't once jump, aren't you disappointed? And the reason I'm mentioning movies is we pick movies with a better idea of an emotional state that we desire to have with ourselves or our movie companions. Yep. And yet we don't give it the same thought and attention when it comes to playing with kink. And actually in playing with kink, it's even more important. So here's my tip for those, another tip for those of you exploring dominance and looking to submit to dominance. Check inside of yourself before play and assess what kind of moods might you want to go to. I'm going to back up just a bit here. Now, for some of you, this might not be the kind of BDSM tips that you thought that you would be getting. But I don't give ordinary tips. And frankly, most of the ordinary tips I don't think are useful. They're not realistic. They're not useful. And my advice comes from, you know what? Not from doing things well, but messing up royally for the last 30 years of playing. So yeah, it's coming from a real place. I'm not going to give you a formula of how to play because there isn't. Okay? There's what you and your sweetie desires, and you have to create that yourself. However, your biggest enemy in this may be yourself. You may be overcomplicating things. You may be expecting the impossible out of you or your partner. So, pay attention to what you're hungry for. Yeah. And on a simple material tip, look, a blindfold. Blindfold makes any regular good sex suddenly kinky. And Lorna, thank you. Yeah. Hi, Shelley. How are you? Yeah. Let's see. And here's another one. Let's see. Oh, stereotypes of the femdom. It exists, doesn't it? The big old stereotype of dominance. Yeah. The stereotype of the femdom. There's the outfit, there's the look, there's the behavior. Do I look it? No, I don't. And that stereotype? It's kind of fun to make believe role play at times, but most of the time that expectation is hokey, corny, outdated, useless, and pointless, and it really doesn't reflect what the glorious erotic power of most women. Nope, doesn't. So, it's actually all in how you stand. It really is. It's in how you stand. So if you're schlumpy, is it sexy? No. Stand up or sit up. Roll your shoulders back. Head on top of spine. Own your space. It's not what you wear, it's how you carry yourself. Ah. Hey, Shelley. Yeah. Yeah, Shelley, I definitely don't look the part at AIDS Life Cycle now, do I? Nope. Running around in my coveralls and baseball cap and covered in bike grease at AIDS Life Cycle. But yeah, own your space. So the stereotype of what a femdom's supposed to look like, it's garbage. Toss it out the window. Forget it. Okay? You know, you can wear flip-flops and be an awesome dominant. You know what else a flip-flop is good for? Smacking people. Okay? Take that flip-flop off and just smack. And it makes a lovely, lovely spanking paddle. Unexpected, too. That's called a pervertible. Ew, goodness. Okay, so let's see. Times are passing, and my tea has gone cold, so that's my signal that I should start wrapping it up. Got any burning questions? I'll try to address it. Otherwise, we should wrap this up. Oh, ForteFemme. Here we go. ForteFemme. All right. So I got to talk about that. Yeah, ForteFemme, my Women's Dominance Weekend Intensive. Myself, 9 women, 3 days, brain dump. And it's not about the wacky pokey bindy. It is about how to tap in and unleash your authentic power from the bedroom to the boardroom. I love teaching that program. 9 women at a time. And yeah, so ForteFemme.com. There's one coming up in New York. The one in San Francisco is coming up this weekend. That one's full with a waiting list. And then New York, check that one out. There's still a few seats left. Let's see. So Shannon said, how do we get in tune with what we are hungry for? Hey Shannon, would you mind? Oh, Shanna, sorry. Shona? My glasses. Shona. How do we get in tune with what we're hungry for? Now that is a good topic for another conversation. Okay. So Shona, do you read fiction or pay attention to, like, I don't mean like BDSM movies. I'm talking about mainstream movies or books. Are there desires, and I don't mean the wacky pokey bindy things. Are there feelings that you wish to have? Like, did you ever want to have a good cry? Or just engage in selfishness? Or, read books and fiction and watch movies and listen to people. Not necessarily the sexual stuff, but pay attention to what perks your interest. And Peggy, flip-flops suck. Oh, I guess you would know about that. And Randy says, I still have the same question from last night. What's a secret question you wish someone would ask you, but never do? And then please answer the question. And Lorna says, take the class. Yay, thanks, Lorna. Yep, ForteFemme, it is awesome. There's still seats in the New York ForteFemme, so please do check it out. Okay, and I think so do check it out. And if you're looking for Valentine's presents for yourself or your sweetie, ForteFemme is it. All right, so Randy, the question that I wish somebody would ask me, but they never do. Let's see, good question. Well, I can think of several that don't often get asked about, and a lot of it have to do with my artwork. A lot of people who know me in the teaching capacity don't know that actually I do social practice and fine art. So it's always fun when that world is crossed, right? When I'm asked questions about my artwork. Randy, I don't really have a good answer for that. I think I'm just going to have to chew on that, and I'm going to have to think on that. Can I get back to you on that? So, yeah. Okay. Oh, Lorna, I'm so glad to hear that ForteFemme is life-changing. I hear that all the time, and it is exhilarating. And now, ForteFemme, we also have an alumni association. So, Robert, what's the first step for women to find their power? Stand up straight and sit up straight. First step, absolutely first step. Roll your shoulders back and own your rightfully earned space. First step. And then we can go beyond that. So, Roberta, you sitting up straight right now? Feeling it? Shoulders back, tits up, tighten your core, throw in a couple of kegels. Puts a little glow on you. So, Roberta, how's it feel? So everyone out there, sit up straight, stand up straight. How's it feel? Yeah? And add a little kegel, it's always fun. Roberta, are you one of, let's see, JD, is there any of your artwork you'd like to share now? If you go to my art site, www.ranshin.com, that's RANSHIN, you'll see a bunch of my artwork. I actually have 5 major pieces coming up this year. Whew, yeah, a lot to do. I'm going to be doing a performance at in Seattle and Tokyo. Shelley said, maybe not relevant to this convo, but do you have any kink erotic book recommendations? I can only read The Marketplace so many times. Shelley, okay, and if you get a chance to see or participate in, I think I lost the rest of your comments. Shelley, repost the rest of it. Shelley, so, okay, suggested reading. Fiction, may I recommend 7 Japanese Tales by Junichiro Tanizaki. Oh, it's dark. Okay. Also for something unexpected, a favorite of mine is a book called Gordon by Templeton. And that's an interesting exploration. That's an interesting exploration of class and sexual dominance. JD, did you find the art site? If you could actually post the link in the comments field, I'd appreciate that. Yeah. Shelley, you've come and participated in my art installations. It's fun, isn't it? In fact, I remember you contributed some very personal pieces, and my artwork oftentimes involves participation. So, Randy, thank you. Excellent. Yeah, Shelley, it was fun, wasn't it? The dining room installation? Yay. Okay, and what else here? Roberta, good. I'm glad you're feeling good about that, because anytime life sucks or there's doubt, stand up straight. People start to behave differently towards you. Oh, Erica, you're reading 7 Japanese Tales. Excellent. What do you think? It's a surprisingly erotic and dark novel. Okay, there's been a request for King David. Who wants to see my cat?
Who wants to see my pussy?
Or I could say, who wants to see my big hairy pussy? But really, it's the Maine Coon, okay? So who wants to see my cat? I gotta get him out of the papers. He is playing in paper right now.
Going for the sugar.
Okay, I'm getting thumbs up. Here comes David.
David! Hi, are you having fun? Hi. Mommy's friends want to say hi to you. Okay, come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Oh boy. Oh.
Come meet my tiny kitty. Oh. Hi. Yes. Hello, this is David. He's kind of big. He is a small Maine Coon. He's a Maine Coon mix. Oh. Okay. Oop. I know. He needs his own fan page, huh? He's very handsome. Ooh, he's gonna eat those hearts. Hey. Mommy, why? Yeah, I know. He needs his own fan page. Let me see if I can just tilt this down a bit. Oop. Okay, maybe not that much. Oh! Oh, yeah. Hi, hi. Yes. Beautiful green eyes. He is cat food commercial pretty. Yes. He is Zoolander pretty and Zoolander smart. Yes. Aren't you, baby? He's a lover. Funny thing is, he acts a lot like a dog, which I think is a Maine Coon thing. All right. I think he wants to go play in his paper playground. Okay, go, baby. I know, isn't he cute? So, of course, you know, yeah, he's spoiled rotten. He is 9, and he is a svelte 20 pounds. Yes. Oh, hey, Leanie, how's it going? Anyhow, guys, I gotta get going. It's been good talking to you, Dave. Oh, what? Are you gonna come back up here, David? No? No? Up? No. Okay. He wants treats. I'm gonna go give him some treats because he gets bonito flakes because he's spoiled. All right. So, hey, are you coming up or not? No. All right. Look. What? Okay, he did come up. Here. Okay. Yes, I'll be at the Fetish Fair flea market. Yeah. My little movie star kitty. All right, folks. Really. Gotta go. Night-night.